Hello everyone, welcome back to my Let's Replay channel. Once again, this is Andrew T coming at you, and this is my vlog review of Divinity Original Sin 2. Now, this is it's kind of a half replay, half long play, and I was going to say, and half regular play, but that's one too many halves. Anyway, it's better than 33.3333, I'd be going on forever. Anyway, so this week only one game because it's a great game. I've been playing it literally all day yesterday, and my original videos I put up were when I was playing it straight through on Friday with a different character than I was playing through on my own playthrough. Well, it's just I just want to get past the first stage, basically what they had in the early access, and I basically played all day, did all the quests I could, and all the ones I remembered. Still didn't finish some of them. Some still were like, "Oh, you didn't help this person." I'm like, I did everything, and then still said, left them on the freaking island. I'm like, whatever. Anyway, so getting into the game, oh my gosh, it is so much fun. I want to start like 18 different characters in this game, just because it's so different every time you play it. I've been a human, I've been a dwarf in these playthroughs, I've gone through this one with an elf, and I've played a little bit talking-wise as the Red Prince in the early access builds, just because it gave you the option. But yeah, just the sheer amount of choice they give you in these games that actually matter. And every single character is voiced, and voiced well. Whoever was the director of voice acting in this game should get an award. It is literally how good the direction is in this game, just on the NPCs and the narration and everything along the way. So I started over on another character. I'm playing an elf. On my Let's Replay, or long play, I played a dwarf. I was a dwarf rogue, or scoundrel, and I had all those points towards that, basically. And as the elf, I was a ranger. I know, stereotypical, but what I found out in the early access build is that if you try to do too much too soon with classes, you can get really unbalanced when it comes to the battles. And I was playing it on basically the lowest difficulty on my own playthrough, and I was playing on my regular difficulty on the long play videos I took. So what I can say is I haven't died yet in the Explorer, or the least difficulty in my playthrough, but I can say for certain that if I was playing on the regular playthrough, the bump and dip difficulty may be too much. Just because you still have some challenge. We do level up a bit faster, I believe, from what I can tell. And I just think that if you're going to be playing it kind of semi-seriously, be really strategical, yeah, that's the word, strategical in your battles and all that, and how you talk to people, and if you want the best dialogue options, you're going to be saving a lot. Like, I was quick saving every minute, it seemed like, just because if you just go in a different area or talk to someone, or someone else talks to the person that didn't want them to talk to, and they don't have maybe as higher persuasion as the other guy does, and your options change for that. So I'm trying to get not a perfect playthrough, but the best one I can. So I'm going back and redoing some dialogue options in my own playthrough. What I found is that this game has so much depth in it, it's almost overwhelming. Almost. Because, like I said, it literally took me the whole day yesterday. Over 12 hours. And that was knowing everything I had to do, with only slight changes from the early access build, to get through the first act, where you can actually get off the island and then continue your adventure. So I was just going, wow, and I want to see it with every character, especially the undead character, because it is so different. And I want to play as the NPCs too. I want to, start over with character and play as your companions. Now, it gives you options in the first act to go and just pick up companions willy-nilly and do their quests and figure out what they want, and from there you can do that and just kind of find out your best 3 companions, I think. But I found that once I kind of gotten to a certain point, I didn't really want to go back and get all the other companions in one playthrough. I figured if I was going to do that, if I was going to restart again under a different character, I'd probably do that instead of trying to do everyone's companion quest in the first act there. And then after the first act, no spoilers, but whoever you want at that point, as your companions, you better decide before the first act ends. Because after that, you don't get an option to just, switch people out. You don't have a home base where people just, congregate that if they're not using them, like all the other NPC games that are out there. It's like, no, you better choose your 3 companions that you want from the first act throughout the rest of the game, because it looks like that you don't have an option to go back for the others when you get off the island. Anyway, so talk a little bit about the UI is great. You can tell they put a lot of effort into how enjoyable this game should be for just the aspect of getting around, your attacks, your dialogue options, everything about it is good. And if you can't remember the hotkeys, they have in the bottom left-hand corner all the buttons in case you forget. Now, I have the tooltips on for the tutorial for some of the stuff I haven't seen before, like runes. Runes were not in the early access, so I kept on trying to combine runes with my equipment, because that's what you do whenever you want to craft. I didn't realize there was another option on there for recipes, combine, and then runes was the top right one. So anything you have, any piece of equipment or item you have that can have a rune in it, you just attach it there. That's all you have to do. So I was going through the whole first act without realizing that, and I finally did. Just because I was sick of looking at it and not knowing what to do with the runes that I had collected. But that's the other thing, though. Anything you can attach there, you can just extract off the item with no penalties. So that's another good thing. A lot of times the games will have a system where you have to extract one or the other once you put a rune on an item. So either destroy the item or destroy the rune. So if you ever want to split them up, guess what? Or put a new rune in, you're going to have to sacrifice the rune you just had in there. So this one, they don't have that. Like, no, you know what? It's just a slot. Put it in, take it out, whatever. So I really like that. They don't have to go through that BS. Because gold is a big thing in this game. You can, from my character, who's not that strong, I've carried pretty much everything I ever wanted to pick up in the first act. And sell everything you can, because some of the items you get when you meet these new traders or NPCs that have a higher tier either spell books or items, you want to make sure you can afford those as fast as you can to make it easier on yourself. Otherwise, you have to go out, try to find the minimum amount of enemies out there, because it's not like Final Fantasy where they just respawn over and over. There's a set amount. So you're going out there trying to find enemies, level up, take their items, take their stuff you can sell, and then take it back to the trader. But luckily, there's so much stuff you can pick up that's worth money, and you have so much inventory space. Even with just one person, I was using my main character to carry everything, because I don't want to switch back and forth in the crafting menu trying to figure out what I could and couldn't use. That it was just easier that way. Anyway, what else? The storyline is great. It is, even though I've played through the early access version like 3 or 4 times before this, just the sheer volume of information it sends at you is amazing. And like I said, I even missed some stuff this time when I went through, and I thought I had found everything from the early access version. So I'm definitely psyched to go back and start another game, this time with an undead, and see where the story leads me there. But the story's great. The graphics are top notch. It's putting me on the recommended, so it's still beautiful, but I can probably crank it up a little bit higher if I wanted my performance to lag a little bit. But right now, it's just, even with my current specs, it is good. It is darn good. What else? This is pretty much everything you want in an RPG. Like a 3D isometric version RPG. Not like the Diablo where it's an action RPG, but actual, Fallout style RPG. The original Fallout, where it's turn-based. There's so many points you put into your actions, and then later on you can either get more points or upgrade so that your actions don't take as many points, or mix and match as you will. So the character creation and the sheer volume of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not creativity, but options you get with your character to mix and match all your skills, all your talents, everything else along those lines is just enormous. So, and the dialogue options for even the NPC characters, you can talk to them twice, and they'll have different things to say at least one other time. And sometimes you have to talk to them again, so you kind of want to go back and say, oh, okay, I talked to him about this. I'm like, wait, did he have anything else? And go back and I'm like, oh, there's another dialogue there. It's not just, the same stuff recycled after the first response for like 90% of the characters I've seen out there. The progression is very, very good. There are multiple ways to escape the fort into the inner island on the first stage, or the first act, I should call it. And whether you fight your way through, get smuggled out, find a secret, sewer pipe that leads you out, or just, teleport yourself over there if they'll let you do that. There's so many different options and how you can do it that it's just amazing. And then from no matter which option you choose, though, on that side of the island, there's enemies that are leveled to your specifications, so that way they won't be like, oh, right now you have a dragon. That may be on the other side of the island until you can get over there if you want to fight one. Or the harder enemies are usually further in, and you can explore. You can go wherever you want, but the way it's set up, that if you just want to go systematically from one side to the other, kind of exploring as you go and make sure you don't miss anything, you will have enemies that you can defeat in those areas. They may be a little bit more. They may be challenging, but they are beatable. And then as you go further and further in, as you level up and you kind of get better weapons, better items, kind of learn your party's layout, the enemies and the battles do get more complex and a little bit harder. But I had the foresight of kind of knowing what to expect and not to jump ahead or get into battles I wasn't ready for. So I went in through my playthrough a little bit OP, overpowered for a lot of the battles I eventually ended up doing, because I'd already done it before. I didn't feel like, just running in and having a battle I had to do 3 or 4 or 5 times trying to set up everything perfect so I wouldn't get killed, with my last turn or whatever. So, scoring time. Alright. Now, like I said, it's not a replay technically, because I did only play the early access and not the whole game. But if I had to score this right now, just from the sheer enjoyment I'm getting out of it, it would get a 10. And that's really all that matters. Like, if you enjoy a game that much where you can't stop playing it, it deserves a 10. When you look at everything else that just gives you on top of that, though, just the dialogue, the hours that you're putting into it for the money you paid. I got on early access for I think it was $44 early access, and for not even paying $60 for this game, this game is easily a $60 game. Easily. It's like The Witcher 3 in that it gives you so much for your money that you can just, if you complete the whole thing, did every quest you want to, did every side mission, talk to every NPC, you would get your money back like 3 or 4 times over, especially the hours you put into it. So, graphics-wise, replayability, enjoyment, story, voice acting, the whole package, it gets a 10. Like, this is I think the only game I've ever given a 10 to on this channel so far. Hopefully more are coming, but this was definitely something I was looking forward to. So I kind of knew from the first one what I was getting into, and it is just amazing. Anyone who's a fan of the old Fallout series, where the choice it gave you in the action and the combat style and the 3D isometric view of it, anyone who's a fan of the lore of the Divinity series, anyone who's a fan of great RPGs and good dialogue and humor, that's another thing. The humor is so spot on this. It's amazing. I don't know who they had writing this, but along with the director for voice acting, I wish the writer for all the writers for all these different jokes and dialogue options get some kind of award. because the sheer effort and quality of it is something out there we haven't seen since Fallout New Vegas. Or possibly The Witcher 3. Anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. This is one of my longest vlog reviews, but it's been a pleasure. Thank y'all so much. What a great day for a replay. Y'all have a good one.